Hi, and welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all my quilty stitchy things. Now, this is week 3 of my All Ohio Shop Hop. So, this is a map of Ohio, and there are 60 participating shops that are all over Ohio for this shop hop that is going on through all of August and September. So far, I am up to 37 shops. So they broke it up into 5 different regions. So I have finished this region right here. And after this weekend, I finished this region. And I started up here. And I also went to one shop down here. And on a previous weekend, I had done some here. So I have at least been to one shop in all the regions, and I had finished 2. So let me show you where we started at. Here's a look at my passport. You see all the stamps there from all the shops that I have visited over the past 3 weekends. I still think there's 6 more weekends to go, I think. So 6 more weekends, 23 more shops. I think I can do it. We're going to try. So let me show you where we started at yesterday, which is the Northeast region of Ohio. Oh, no, we didn't start there at the Northeast region. We did some in the Northeast region, but that's not where we started. We started in the East Central region. So the very first weekend of August, I got most of these shops, but we missed 4. So we went back to get those 4 shops. So the first place we started is number 5 down here, which is Mercantile on Main, which is in Coshocton, Ohio. And there, they give everybody this little block. Every shop gives out a little block for the shop hop. You get a stamp and you get this block. And this was Mercantile on Main. And Quilting Mends the Soul is what they gave. And while I was in there, they also handed out a free pattern for Stars and Bars. Now, I did not make any purchases there. So then I headed over to number 6. And number 6 is Anything Sews Fine Fabric. And the block they handed out was this. Life is Short, Anything Sews, Buy the Fabric. In Dover, Ohio. And they also gave me a pen. Just says Anything Sews. Their branding. Now, I did not buy anything here either. However, they did have on their porch panels that were 25% off. They did have one that was in blues, of course, that I did consider getting, but I didn't. So that was 2 shops. Then, from number 6, I headed all the way up here to number 4, which was Village Quilts in Canfield, Ohio. Now, this shop, let me see if I can find it. This shop, this was the block they handed. Village Quilts, Keeping You in Stitches, Canfield, Ohio. And they gave out a fat quarter, and this was the fat quarter that I picked out. Unroll it. So that's what I picked out from there. And this was done, this quilt shop was in a old house. The whole downstairs was redone, and they told us that sales fabric was actually over in the garage, which was a separate building. So I had to go over and check that out. And then you had to bring it back over into the house where they cut and you paid for it. So what I got there was I found this truck fabric that was on clearance. And this line is Cultivate Kindness by Deb Strain, and I know I have some other fabric somewhere in my stash that goes with this, so I bought that. So I bought a yard of that for $6, and then after we went to 4, we went up here to number 12. And number 12 is Bernina's Store and So Much More. And what they gave me was this block here. Quilting fills my days, not to mention my living room, dining room, bedroom, and closets. Have to agree. So there was that block. And I went over to their clearance section, and I saw these 3 fabrics all together in the clearance section. So I bought these to make a 1-yard quilt. Now these 2 are different lines than this one, but that's okay. Pulls out the purple there and that color. Now I also got a fat quarter of this same fabric when I went to Anna Louisa's, which is another store in this region, a couple weeks ago. So I bought that off the clearance rack. And as I was walking out, they had a sign that said, "Please take one." And they were referring to patterns. And that is what I picked up. So I got that. Then, after we went there, and all these shops too are having different door prizes that you fill out and for your chance to win. But after we went there, that finished the region. So I have all of this East Central region filled out. So, like I said, I'd already finished this, and then I'd finished this. That last store was up here, so we headed up here. So we decided to go up here and go back down to try and get this northeast corner all the way, because I live all the way over here in this region. So we're trying to get those farthest ones done. So we made a little stop right here. Let me get that region up. There it is. So we made a little stop right here at number 4. And this store is Quilter's Fancy in Cortland, Ohio. And what I got there was this block. Quilters live a colorful life. Yes, we do. I always have different colored threads all over me. So there's that. And they just gave out this 7-inch block layout. And I did not purchase anything there. And then from number 4, we went all the way up to number 7. Or I'm sorry, it's not number 7, it's number 6. Number 6. All the way up here. And number 6 is Alpha to Omega Quilting. And this is the block they gave us. And it says, I only quilt on days that end with a Y. Me too. There we go. And I also got a coupon for 20% off any future web orders. So we went here and there, and then we came down to number 12. And number 12 is the quilting block. And the quilting, here's that. And it says, I'd rather be sewing. And the quilting block, no, I didn't buy anything at the quilting block either. Then we went down to number 13, and this is Country Quilt Shack. Now, this one, I wasn't sure if it was going to be open because in the book it says it's closed the third weekend of every month. So I wasn't sure, but it was only like 10 minutes away. So we said, we'll just stop and see. Much to my surprise, happy surprise, they were open. Now, they did say they decided to stay open while the shop pop was going on that weekend. So I do appreciate that. Now, this was my favorite store that we went to today, or yesterday, I guess. Now, they had a section of pre-cuts that were clearance and marked down. And as I said on a previous video, I love pre-cuts. So I would love to buy more, but you know, I do have this supply fund issue, you know, I only have so much. So I only bought this jelly roll and it was marked down to $28. So I bought that. Like I said, they had other pre-cuts that I would have loved to have bought, but you know, just didn't have it. I had to limit. Plus, I've got all these other stores to go to. I still have 23 more stores. And they also handed me a pad of paper. And they gave us a little goodie bag, which has a sewing machine cleaner. I do use these. A lifesaver. And a little wonder clip-in. Just a little goodie baggie. I do like those. And this was the block. Country Quilt Shack. And it says, I'm not messy, I'm creatively organized. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see they were opened. Like I said, that was my favorite store that we went to yesterday. Now, all quilt shops are different. They have a different vibe, different aesthetic, and they sell different fabrics. So what I like may not be what someone else is like, but that's okay. I still fabric. Let's go look, right? So then from there, we went to number 10, which was the craft cupboard. And that is that. And the craft cupboard says, I can't clean my sewing room because I get distracted by all the good stuff I find. That is very true. Now, this was a house, another house that was completely redone. It was kind of a maze to get through, but maze in a good way, because there was stuff everywhere. I mean, they had so much stuff, so much fabric, and it wasn't just fabric. They had other craft stuffs. I noticed they had like a whole like wood section, which would have been good for like my cross stitch finishes. But yeah, they had a lot of stuff, and it was quite a little maze. I was amazed at how much they got in there, but I didn't buy anything in there either. Again, I would love to buy things at all these stores, but I do have to pay the bills, so you know. Okay, so then after that, after that, we went down. So we went up, then we went down, and then we went to 14. 14, because it was getting close to the end of the day. And with this was So Deja Vu. Let's see. Now, in there, they were giving away this block. Upside down. There we go. And it says, just another wine drinker with a quilting problem. There we go. And I found 1 yard cuts. They had marked down to $5 a piece. So I bought a couple of those. So I bought those. And then my mom and cousins were there last week. They went shop hopping up there, and they signed me up for a Laura Heine collage quilting class. So I bought some pattern ease or easy pattern that I will need to do that, and some steam-a-seam that's over there. And I bought this mini pattern to do. Now, I had a Laura Heine owl pattern that I'd bought several years ago and never done. I was going to do that, but I was told it's too big. So, I got a mini one to do this collage quilting. We'll see. Then I made... So that's everywhere we went yesterday. But today, I took a trip up and visited one store. Let me find where that went. Alright, so today, I live over here in this green region, and I took a trip over to right here, Waldo. So, let me get that. And that quilt shop is Serendipity. And that is in, Waldo, Ohio. So I drove all the way up there. And I drove by myself. Now, I have never been in this area before. I don't know where I'm going. Just driving. And I get to a busy highway, this divided highway. And I need to go to the bathroom. But there's nowhere for me to go because it's all on the other side. And if So I get all the way to the store to get my stamp and my block, and it says, behind every great quilter is a huge stash of fabric. And they were very nice in the store, but when I went in there, I asked for a bathroom, and they said they didn't have one. So I was like, okay, well then I need to leave because I was ready to bust. So they're like, aren't you going to look around? I'm like, well, I can't. So I didn't shop around. So I had to leave, get back on this busy place where I don't know where I'm at. And I know I had passed some gas stations on my way, but they were on the other side of where I was. So I had to go make a stop there. Now, I didn't want to go back because in order to go back, I would have to do a U-turn on the highway and go back. And I wasn't going to go through all that, especially since I'm in this area I don't know where I'm at. And it was probably another 10 minutes or so to find some place. So it goes back to what I was saying last week. Personally, I believe there should be bathrooms in all of these stores, especially since they're all so far away from each other. Well, some of them are only a few minutes, but you're going all over the state, and some of them are a while. This one took me over an hour to get there. So if they don't have bathrooms, then I believe they should have stated that in this book, because it lists all the hours and everything else. It should have put a note in there to say no bathrooms available, so I would have known before I got there. So, unfortunately, I didn't buy anything there. And then I came home. So, that's my shop hop for this week. All right, till next time. Bye. Bye.